So this cruise ship crashes, and the captain leaves it, abandoning over 4,000 people during a massive emergency. The captain's name is Francesco, a 51-year-old from Italy, and he was in charge of a huge cruise ship called the Costa Concordia. One night in 2012, Francesco is steering this ship with more than 4,000 passengers and crew on board, and that is when he makes a decision that will change everything. He decides to perform something called a sail-by salute, where a ship passes very close to land to give passengers a better view, sometimes even sounding the horn. It's meant to be impressive, but it's also risky if not done carefully. Francesco wants to show off, and to make it more impressive, he invites a woman onto the bridge to watch. This woman is not just any guest. She is someone he has a personal relationship with, and she is much younger than him. So while he is supposed to be focused on safely navigating a massive ship, he is distracted, trying to impress her. Instead of relying on the ship's advanced navigation systems, which are designed to keep a safe distance from shore, Francesco decides to take manual control. He even disables important warning systems that would normally alert him if the ship gets too close to danger. Confident in his abilities, he begins steering the ship closer and closer to the island. But there is a major problem. Francesco does not have his reading glasses, which means he cannot clearly read the instruments in front of him. Instead of stopping to fix the situation, he continues, relying on assumptions and asking other crew members to confirm things for him. As the ship approaches the island, everything seems fine for a moment, until suddenly he notices waves breaking against rocks much closer than expected. In that instant, he realizes he has miscalculated the distance. He quickly tries to turn the ship away, but it is already too late. The massive ship collides with underwater rocks, tearing a huge opening in the side of the hull. Down in the engine room, crew members immediately report severe damage. Water begins flooding into the ship, quickly reaching critical systems. The engines fail, the generators stop working, and the ship loses power. Suddenly, thousands of passengers are left in darkness. As water continues to enter, the ship starts to tilt to one side, creating panic among everyone on board. People begin to realize that something is very wrong. The situation becomes chaotic as the ship slowly drifts and eventually comes to rest in shallow water, leaning heavily to one side. Francesco knows he has made a serious mistake, but instead of immediately calling for full emergency assistance, he downplays the situation. He tells authorities that it is only a minor issue and that there is no need for urgent help. Passengers are also told that everything is under control, even though the situation is clearly getting worse. After some time, passengers themselves contact authorities, reporting the incident. Eventually, the order to evacuate is given. People are told to put on life vests and move toward lifeboats, but the tilting ship makes the evacuation extremely difficult. As the angle increases, launching lifeboats becomes more dangerous and complicated. The ship eventually leans dramatically onto its side, creating a terrifying scene. Thousands of people are trying to escape at the same time, and the process is slow and chaotic. In situations like this, a captain is expected to remain on board and coordinate the rescue until everyone is safe. But Francesco makes a very different choice. Instead of staying, he leaves the ship early and makes his way to safety. When the Coast Guard contacts him and asks for his location, he gives an explanation that raises even more questions. He claims that he ended up in a lifeboat unintentionally and was carried away from the ship. Authorities immediately order him to return and help manage the evacuation, but he does not go back. Meanwhile, rescue operations continue without him. Coast Guard teams, helicopters, and even local civilians from nearby areas rush to help evacuate passengers. Despite the difficult conditions, most people are eventually brought to safety. However, not everyone survives. Some people lose their lives, others are injured, and several are trapped during the incident. In total, 32 people die as a result of the disaster. The following day, Francesco is arrested. His actions during the incident are heavily criticized around the world. After a trial, he is found guilty of multiple charges, including manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning his vessel during an emergency. He is eventually sentenced to 16 years in prison. This case becomes one of the most well-known maritime disasters in modern history, not only because of the crash itself, but because of the decisions made by the person in charge.